Hey everyone, Sam here, and in this video I'm excited to share with you how you can dynamically change text and fonts of your Lottie animations, just like this. So there we go, we've got a Lottie and I'm changing its text dynamically, and I'm going to show you how you can use Google Fonts and also change this font dynamically as well. Just grab that, and there we go. And there we go. So, if you're looking forward to this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, let's jump right into it. So, we're going to be starting off in After Effects, and how I'm going to do this is create a null object, which we're going to use for the scaling, and then we're just going to have a text layer. Put in some placeholder text, and I'm just going to then align it quickly. So the After Effects setup is pretty simple, to be honest. We're just going to have our null layer and scale it up a bit. Okay, what's happening with my timeline? Let's go let's do 30 seconds, I think. That'll be fine. Okay. And 100. Let's just make it bigger. Do something like 200. And just back down. Put some easy ease. There you go. And you know what? I might just put some rotation. Okay, so that was done. Now let's open up body moving, because we need to do the settings correctly. And what we need to do is open up the settings and remove this option. And you can't, the bundle fonts only works with the Scotty player, which is the Samsung player, I believe. So yeah, we're gonna uncheck glyphs, and where is it? Advanced. I'm going to pretty print it, so I can show you what it looks like, and it's going to help debugging with the code. But once everything is done, if you're using it in production, you should re-export this animation without the pretty print, because it'll make it larger. But for now, I'm just going to do that. So just remove the glyphs, and yeah, remove glyphs and pretty print. Okay, so I'm going to render out, and then this window is going to pop up, and you might have some font families, some font weights, depending on what you've used. If you want to use Google Fonts, you're going to have to click the Google Font button, and this part is important as well, is the CSS class. So I'm just going to name it my font, and I've removed the font families because I don't really need them, as we're just going to be using the Google Fonts anyway. So yeah, I'm going to leave it as that, save that, and it's going to render. So let's just have a look on the Lottie Files website. Okay, so as you can see, it's not the same font. This is just fine to do that. And then actually, if we open up the JSON file, we've got like a font class, so the one we set, my font, font name, Roboto. Seeing as we didn't like bundle the font inside the JSON or whatever, that's why it's not got a font. Yeah, it's not, that's just why it's not the same font. And if we go down a bit, we can see here, this is our text in the animation, and this is the bit we need to change in code. So I'm going to help you through that step now. So let's head over to codepen. So to start off, I want to show you how you can dynamically change the fonts via CSS. So here I've got my Lottie animation up and running as you usually do. I'll get into the JavaScript a bit later on, but I've just loaded it the normal way with Lottie Web. And what we need to do is first of all just find a font that you like. So okay, let's just go into Google Fonts. I'll pick a random one. There we go, Lobster. That's great. So let's get the Lobster font. Select this font, and we're going to want to use import. And you're going to copy the import URL, paste that at the top of your CSS file, and you're then going to want to declare a class with the same class name you set inside of body moving. So I set it to my font, and then you just want to grab the font family CSS rule and then paste that in, and that should, there you go and set your Lottie animation to use the font you just did. So that's it for the font. Now I'm gonna jump into the JavaScript to show you how you can change the text value of your Lottie animation. Alright, so we're gonna head into the JavaScript. If you want the solution straight away, the codepen will be linked inside the description, because I'm going to recode what I did and just go through the steps and the motions that I took to get this up and running. So it won't be a straight cut tutorial on how to code it. If you just want the answer, basically go over to the codepen, but this might take a little bit longer. Yeah, so just FYI. So first of all, we need to load up our Lottie animation. Here I've got some constants, so I just want to keep the URL of my animation here. The text value, that's just hello YouTube for the moment, and the Lottie data. So I also just kept this get function, which is going to do a get request on our animation URL. So this was going to fetch our Lottie data, and then we're going to init, and this is where I'm going to load up the Lottie. So let's start with that. So I've got my Lottie data variable up here. So I'm just going to go Lottie data. It's going to be equal to Lottie.load animation, and I think it's container document get element by ID, and I called it probably animation container or something. Animation, okay. Animation, just gonna put renderer SVG autoplay true loop true. Is that all right? No. Is it container? What's happening? Oh, I need to put the animation data, don't I? So animation data is going to be JSON object, JSON OBJ. Okay, so yeah, as I said, JSON OBJ is calling JSON.parse and then it's going to get Lottie data from Lottie files where the animation is stored, and put that into a JSON object, and then just pass it to Lottie so it can load it. And yeah, so Lottie data here is going to be equal to what Lottie.loadAnimation returns, which is the Lottie object itself, and we need it up here so that we can modify it and modify the text value in, for example, an input box. So that's why it's up here. And yeah, so now that we've got that running, we sort of need to figure out where we need to modify our Lottie, the Lottie text. So I'm going to console log Lottie data, and as you'll see, we get this. So this is the animation item, which is returned from Lottie. So you've got a bunch of stuff here. What is interesting to us is the actual animation data, and then its layers, and then this one. So this null is what we used, is the null object in After Effects that we set, and this is the actual text layer, Hello YouTube. So the name of it is Hello YouTube. So NM is its name of the layer. It's not the actual like text value. For that, we need to go into T and then D, K, 0, S, and then here it is T, Hello YouTube. So it's sort of complicated, but this is what we actually need to modify. So how could I show that? Okay, we could do JSON object. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna do JSON object. Please don't delete it. And we're gonna do. So we need to go. So the JSON object is actually the animation data. So we should be able to just go layers, and then the first bit, or index 1 I should say, T dot D dot K 0 S T hello question mark. Is this gonna work? Oh, it did. And there we go. Okay. So yeah, a bit long-winded, but you know, you can get there. So yeah, we just modified the text inside our Lottie animation. So what we need now is to do this dynamically. So for that, we need a place to input some text. So we're going to do div class and text container. Just do this any way you want. I just wanted to style it this way, but yeah. And then we're going to do, I think it's input, and the value will be hello YouTube. I think our default value was. And it's flying off to the side. Text container. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh well. ID is gonna be. Let's just call it text input. Text input, hello YouTube, blah blah blah. Okay, that's sorted it out somehow. What else do we need? Hello YouTube. I think that's fine. Should be fine. So let's just, so we've got it there. Let's add up here a listener to it. Text input box equals document get element by ID text input, and then we're going to do input box add event listener, and we're going to listen to input, and when we input stuff we want to update the text variable, and so that's going to be equal to input box dot value, I believe. And when that happens, we want to update the Lottie data. So we're going to do Lottie data. We're going to do animation data because it's the actual animation data we want to modify. And then we're going to just go into the same path we did earlier on. So layers TDKST, and we don't want it to be equal to hello, we want it to be equal to text. And so if we do stuff now, it's not going to refresh anything, and we can even just quickly debug if we're getting the right stuff, because that's always useful. But for the moment, this is not going to do anything. So yeah, we're getting the right text, but it's not updating, and that is because we need to actually reload the animation every time we change the text. We can't just change the value and expect it to change. So I'm going to write another function. Let's just get rid of that. Reload Lottie. And this is going to delete or destroy our current Lottie. So we're going to do Lottie data. Actually, let's do a check. If Lottie data dot destroy. So that's going to get rid of our previous animation. And then we're going to load up another one, and oops, my bad. And it's going to be loaded up the same way, except we want, instead of passing it the JSON object we fetch from Lottie files, we want the animation data we modified. So we're going to do Lottie data dot animation data, and we need to call it inside our event listener. Reload Lottie. Let's save that, and let me just get rid of the debug. So yeah, remove the hello bit. Hello YouTube, and okay, there we go. Hi YouTube. That is working very well. And this is awesome. And I'm just going to set it to the default value. So we've got the input box, which is matching up to our animation. And how are you doing? Woohoo! We can now modify the text in our Lottie animation dynamically, as well as its font. So yeah, that wasn't too hard. If you are interested in the Lottie format and how it works, I will leave some documentation in the description, which goes over so much detail of the Lottie format. And if you are interested, like, just pre-print your animations and check it out. It's quite interesting. But yeah, I hope that helped you out. I will leave this codepen in the description box as well. If it did help you out, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I'd appreciate it and I'd appreciate you. So thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the SVGenius YouTube channel to keep up to date with everything happening in the wonderful world of Lottie animations.